Oh, I have to send you this video, Bean. So, you know, Tom Hiddleston, I think his name is, that
Oh,
used to be with Taylor
yes.
Swift.
I've
Okay,
got it.
so
I've
so
got it.
I need you to watch this YouTube video of him dancing on a talk show to Rasputin by Boney M. And I reckon I've watched the video 7,000 times. I
Okay.
love it so much. I
Can I
don't
watch
know
it
why.
now?
Yes,
My volume.
honestly, because if you don't mind a man that can dance, you will want
Okay, it's
you will want
happening.
this.
I don't know.
Here's a
Can you hear
live
that, Matty?
No, I can't, but here's a
Okay,
live
all right.
reaction.
Oh my God, stop! No, carry on.
I know, isn't it just
Oh,
for some reason? It's
what's
just
the
so
point
great.
me? What's happening? Why is it so good?
I know.
I'm having a physiological reaction.
It's addictive. Something about that video of Tom
That's so
Hiddleston dancing
satisfying.
on Graham Norton or whatever the hell it is. It's
Oh, he's
addictive.
so confident with it.
I know. And he's got the
Oh, I'm
shiny
gonna have to save that for
shoes.
later. I don't know why that was. Okay, now stop. Stop, YouTube. Stop. I'm going to have to save that for later and come back to it.
Yeah,
'cause-
you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't know what
reckon-
happened just then, but that.
I know. I reckon a good 20% of those views are me. Like, I love that video.
That is fantastic. Okay.
Rightio.
Okay.
Should we do the intros?
Okay. Why don't we 2.5 minutes in? Oh my God. I'm crying. I don't know what happened. Oh, okay.
You kick it off, Bean.
Shall I? All right. Kia ora, everybody. Welcome back to, I think what we can agree is going to be a chaotic episode of Untidy Podcast. But here we are. This is the energy that we are in. My name is Hannah Davison. I'm the co-founder and author of the My Big Moments children's books, the kids' books that help your little ones get through the big moments in their life. And I'm here with my actually glowing, not in a pregnant way.
Thank you so much.
Just in kind of a sparkling way. I don't know, you look great.
Sweaty kind of way. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you, the perspiration is working for you.
Oh, thank you. That's the good thing about liking to do like a dewy makeup look is that you can sweat and it kind of just looks like it's the vibe.
I don't know. I got real shiny on the Dr. Libby. I was like looking at YouTube because I obviously subscribe to us on YouTube. And it pops up when I go on there to try and find a legal maths episode so I can get ahead of New Zealand. And I was like, God, I'm real shiny.
Oh.
Got a real shine on that one.
Well, we were sweating.
Warm. It was warm.
We were sweating.
Yeah.
It was very hot in that room. But, you know, that's studios, isn't it? That's podcast professional studios.
That's cheap Airbnbs for you. A noisy air conditioning unit.
I know. It felt quite den-y, didn't it? Like we were in a little den.
Yeah, slightly shabby. Not chic. Not chic.
Shabby just without the chic.
Tired. A tired little den.
Cracked den. No, it wasn't quite cracked den status. But I reckon it was like someone would take someone back there. You know what I mean? Like
well, I tell you what, you want to be careful who you took back there because the bedroom walls were only partially, like they didn't reach the ceiling. They'd just like, they'd knocked up some partitions to make it 2 bedrooms. So, you know, if you wanted to take someone back there, you wouldn't want a friend to be in the neighbouring cubicle, we'll call it. It was very reminiscent of the St. Margaret's boarding house, I would say.
Oh, was it?
It was actually, yeah.
Not really the vibe you want as an adult, is it?
It wasn't what I was going for. I wanted something a bit more chic, you know, but did I pay for chic? No, I fucking didn't. I paid for that. Seems like good value for the viaduct.
And it was, you know.
And it was.
It was.
Did we get everything done we needed to get done? Yes, we did. Did we make the reel we thought we would do? No, we ran out of time.
No, but we'll get there because we've still got a doozy of a real idea. So we'll do.
We'll save it. It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Oh, build up.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I should.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Matilda Green. I am a mother of 3 and a online content creator, Instagram only, not OnlyFans. By the way, my friend Lynn the other day.
Wait a minute, poor Lynn. Hurry up, quick. Before you expose her for something she didn't do.
She was like, yeah, speaking of OnlyFans, no, she said to me, "Oh, I've been meaning to ask you something that you and Hannah were talking about on your podcast on Instagram, and I wanted to ask you what it was." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Is it Tinder or something?" And she was like, "No, no." And then she texted me and she was like, "Oh, it was OnlyFans." And I was like, "Oh, darn. It's a porn site, basically." So there you go. That's the crux of it. It's where people, create sexy content and sell it. And she was like, "Oh, right. Okay."
Brilliant.
No.
Mum, I'm really sorry, but this is just a great segue to drop you in it. I was talking to Mum on the phone one day, and hopefully she's behind on episodes, so I'll say this, by the time she listens to it, she can't get angry anymore because it's time-stamped. She rang me and she goes, "Oh, I had to pause your episode," she said, "because I had to stop and Google what a butt plug was."
Oh, bless her heart.
What's reassuring for me is that she didn't know.
Yeah, I think you'd rather that than like, "Oh, darling, I hear you're talking about butt plugs. I
Got one in
too
purple."
participate in the butt plug play."
Have you tried?
Oh, no, that's not what we want from our mothers. But good for them if that's what they do.
No, we're just broadening
In the-
horizons
in
left,
the
right, and
privacy.
centre.
Have their own room. Anyway, hey,
Where will we start? Where
do we start? I want to start with a little comment I got on my Instagram recently.
Beautiful.
Because I don't get that many trolls. I really don't. Like, sometimes I might get a few. If there's a bit of a controversy floating around, I might get a real army of them. But most of the time, I don't get a lot of trolls.
Wait, what was it? Didn't someone abuse your decor?
Oh, yes. Well, that's on.
What
so
was that?
that was when I discovered Tattle, this horrific online platform where people basically make little threads about influencers and people in the media, and they just basically talk shit about them. That's just what they do in their spare time. And I didn't know about it, and then I went onto it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's this whole ecosystem." Honestly, they're all kind of friends, and they all just bond over their mutual hatred of people. Yeah, but it's not. It's like a lot of people are on it. But anyway, and I was like, I wonder if they're talking shit about me. I had a moment of weakness. We've talked about this on the pod, but a long time ago.
Look at comments.
I know. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
Surely I have got to a point in my life where I know not to read this stuff, but I just had a little bit of curiosity, and I was like, I wonder what people would talk shit about me about if they were going to talk shit. And my teeth and my house, basically, at the main
What's wrong? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. So general sort of horsey teeth. Okay, cool. That's fine. I can handle that. And also chintzy nannery vibes in the decor house. And look, I'll be the first.
To which you were like,
put my hand up.
Yeah. I have been developing this look.
Oh my god. And I thought, you know what? You're not wrong, actually. That's, if I'm going to have someone talk shit about me, it's fine to say that my house is Nana vibes, because it is, and it makes me happy and it makes me feel at home. Okay? I'd rather that than grey.
Yes.
I don't want a grey house, and that's just me. I would never feel comfortable. I would never want to lie on the couch and read a book if my whole house is grey.
There you are.
Yes.
That's good. You own your chins. It's not as bad. By the way, you don't have horsey teeth.
Oh, thank you.
You do not. You have lovely teeth.
Thank you very much.
That reminded me of that comment that Jeremy Clarkson made about Sarah Jessica Parker. Do you remember this one? And
No.
I felt so torn by this comment because it was a horrible thing to say. Horrible thing to say. He said that he looked... sorry. The thing is, it's horrible, but it's also quite funny. He said she looked like a boiled horse. And I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the fact that is a funny descriptor, and you can't pretend that it isn't. I don't think she looks like a boiled horse. I think she's very beautiful.
I think she is too. But
however, Jeremy Clarkson is a dick,
funny.
but he's a funny dick sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh my god, that is really funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Anyway, so what's wrong with you next?
Trolls. I woke up in the morning. I thought I'd have a quick check of the gram, and this page. It was called something aesthetics or like injectables or something, but I think it was like a fake well, it was a fake Instagram page. It didn't even have a profile or anything, didn't have any posts. And it said, it's gone now because I reported it and then blocked the person, and then I didn't realize that would then delete the comment. But it basically said, ha 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 ha, you pick apart other people's appearances, but you with your beady little eyes, thin lips, and huge schnoz. And I was like, okay, first of all, I don't pick apart people's appearances. Like, what the hell
you're
is
the
that
nicest
about?
person in the world.
I thought it was the most bizarre start. And so I started reading the comment and I was like, okay, this isn't going anywhere good. And then it ended with the giant schnoz. And I was like, all right, that's
Also,
okay.
it's a normal range.
I think
go profile.
It's above average. It's
No,
definitely, it's
not
my
above
dad's
average.
nose.
It's not above average.
And I think
that is perfectly proportioned to the rest of your face.
And it's fine. I have 2 very open septums. I can breathe very well throughout it.
It must be extremely efficient.
Exactly. It's got room for the air to travel through, and I'm fine with it. I wasn't sure about the beady eyes. I was like, righto, okay.
You also do not have beady eyes.
Are the eyes beady? But it just
you don't have thin lips. What have they, like the comments I've chosen, like it doesn't even hurt because it's not close enough to anything that could be remotely true.
And it just kind of felt like there was just, get a bunch of insults, chuck them at the wall, hope something sticks. You know what I mean? Like they were just kind of, let's grab everything on her face and find something mean to say about it. But I mean, I genuinely don't get upset about stuff like that because honestly, if someone called me ugly or fat or whatever, I'd be like, okay, fine. But like if somebody was like, oh, you're boring, then that would get to my core. Ooh. I reckon if someone called me boring, that'd cut me deep.
Okay, I'll tell you something that actually, okay, God, 2 things. All right, ADHD at play. Okay, 1, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to insult Matilda Green first. Matilda Green seems like a lovely person. Since you work on Untidy Podcast with her, it knows who I am.
Oh my God, it knows you.
I imagine you wouldn't actually want an insult. Maybe just some playful teasing. Let me know what vibe you're after. No, seriously.
Oh, please, it checked. It's like before I deep dive on her. Are you sure?
Nice try. If you're looking for a playful roast or some cheeky banter, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, Matilda seems like a great person. I'm all about keeping things fun and positive.
ChatGPT is standing up for me.
By ChatGPT.
That's really sweet. ChatGPT is like, no, hold on a second. I say no. To this disgusting behavior.
Okay, fine. Give her a playful roast. All right, here's a light-hearted roast for Matilda. Matilda Green is so wholesome that even her insults probably sound like motivational quotes. You're not a failure, you're just a pre-success. Or how about this? Matilda is so chill and put together that even her bad hair days look like they belong in a lifestyle magazine. Some of us are just out here struggling, Matilda. All in good fun, of course. Let me know if you need more ammo for some friendly banter.
Oh, ChatGPT, that was so vanilla. That was so vanilla. Oh.
I'm disappointed.
Well, look, it tried, and it obviously really doesn't want to be mean, so let's not peer pressure it to do anything it's uncomfortable with.
And I do need it to do actually useful things for me, so I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, although, just one thing before we move on.
Yes.
Speaking of, AI, ChatGPT seems to be very kind and wholesome. That's great for them. But did you see the video that Joe Rogan shared on Instagram?
Strangely enough, I don't really follow him.
Oh, you might not follow Joe. Yeah, I know. God, everyone hates Joe Rogan. But he shared this video of, I think it was in China. And it was like this big kind of event with like a audience. But they weren't sitting down. It was kind of like a mosh pit audience sort of thing. And they had like robots up the front that looked like sort of security guards. And one of the robots gets aggressive with one of the audience members.
What?
Like starts kind of going for him. Honestly, and like the robot has to be held back, and people are like, "Oh shit, have a look at it! It's crazy!"
Oh my God, we're gonna need to put the link to that as well.
Yes, we will.
What do I search?
Oh, search. Well, just go onto his Instagram, and I think it's like one of his most recent audience China. Try that.
Audience China. An AI robot got aggressive with spectators in China. Okay, here we go. We'll also put the link. This is some really topical stuff.
I know. I know. It's like kind of terrifying. He really
It
goes him,
to
eh?
headbutt. That is, oh, nasty.
I
What
know.
the hell? It actually, it looks so aggressive.
I know. It's kind of terrifying. I saw that and I was like, no, that's not real. But I mean, it's like,
And this is,
it's blatantly real.
you know, movies are made about this.
Yeah.
It's happened
It's beginning.
in
It's
small scale.
beginning. Oh, they're sentient. They're bloody sentient people.
You know, you can make a robot that's very strong and powerful. That one was just able to be pulled back from the crowd. But what if they weren't?
Yeah. Well, they're making them now with like muscular structures as well. So they're
A little bit hot.
So
Sorry.
they're like, yeah, they're like hot robots. There'll be a new fourth wing about those AI robots coming out at some point.
I'll never get tired.
Anyway, thin lips, beady eyes, big schnoz, love it. We've blocked and reported that person, but it made me think, like, if you were getting that every day, it would take its toll for sure.
Yeah,
because I mean,
you're constantly having to feel it.
And constantly having to recalibrate from it as well, like getting this thing and then feeling like, oh, geez. But then having to change your system and be like, oh, who cares? I mean, I don't even know this weird person. They're crazy. They've just set up like a fake profile to tell people they're ugly. Like, okay, they're obviously very weird.
Have too much time on their hands. I do find that our Instagram comments or Facebook, great, lovely. People are normal. When we get comments on YouTube or TikTok, often
a bit weird. Bit weird.
Odd.
Yeah.
Bit odd.
Yeah.
Bit unhinged. And like just some like really unhelpful, like
I feel like
God.
You're talking about the tantric sex one, aren't you? The tantric sex comment from some guy. Did you see that one?
On our YouTube.
Yes. So on our
say it when I look up this other one, because this other one must pale in comparison.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's just like he obviously didn't understand what we were talking about. So it was the podcast with Joe Robertson, sex therapist Joe, about the new sexual landscape. And we're talking about porn, right? And this guy commented some shit about. Oh, you've got it up.
Should I say his handle? Or
say it. Who cares? He put it out there in public.
Okay. At Stuart Brock 7586, who is a white middle-aged man. This is a joke, right? You've seen the Kama Sutra, haven't you? Read Jane Austen? What makes you think anything is new? After all, there are 8 billion of us on the planet now. That means people have had sex billions of times. Yet you think it is somehow new. Bless your heart, laughy face.
And also like
clearly didn't actually watch the podcast.
No, and Jane Austen didn't have Pornhub, did she? You know,
there was
that's
a lot less. You know,
that actually is content. New, Stuart.
Yes.
So put that in your YouTube comment and shove it up your ass.
Okay, well, segue. Eyes. Yeah. Okay, so remember how I was like, I haven't gone and got my glasses subscription. It's 6 months old because I know I'm going to be too overwhelmed by the decision.
Yes.
And I was. My sister took me. She held my hand. I was completely overwhelmed. And then she had to buy me a treat afterwards. I was right. I was right. And she was patient. So I went to actually pick up my glasses today. So I'm going to give you a live spectacles reveal.
Oh my God. Okay. Here's the live reaction too. I'm so excited.
Here's the live reaction. Now let me tell you a great disappointment. I'll tell you after. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, I love them.
Do you?
Very chic. Very chic. Yeah, love them.
Oh, I feel like I'm like, I just am so not used to my face.
They're really nice. And my only thing that I can't handle ring light reflections.
Oh yes, I know. Well, blame Flickr. We've got to have the ring light.
Exactly. So we're just gonna have to go with it. But they're really chic. Love them. They really suit your face. Good size.
Thank you. Well, here's the irritation. I went in there. The man was like, yes, two the same. I'm like, sorry, what? No, I hadn't chosen two the same. I'd painstakingly chose two different frames that I was happy to wear, and like I'd gone through that whole painful situation. I'm like, I can deal with these. Okay, let's go. And he goes, oh, I know what's happened. Oh, that second pair of frames, which was my like, kind of funky attitude. Avant-garde frames. Yeah, this is my like everyday. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they're out of stock. Oh, do you have time now? You can choose another pair that's
he's thrown a curveball.
Like, I can't. I said it was hard enough the first time round. I can't. I can't. So I called my sister immediately. He's like, well, you take these two. And I'm like, am I going to have to pay for another pair when I come back in? And he's like, no. You can have that second pair for free. I was like, okay, great. So now I've got one in my room, one in my office. And then I had to call my sister. I'm like, you're not going to believe it. You're going to have to come back. She's like, okay, this time we're going to go in. We're going to choose. I'm going to buy you lunch. I was like, great. Actually, I don't. No, she said, we're going to go somewhere nice for lunch. I just added in, she's going to buy me lunch. And I feel that now that's been broadcast. That's real. So anyway,
she's buying you lunch.
She's buying my lunch. There's my live spectacles reveal. I can read better. It's so weird, like the adjustment to them being on and off though.
Yeah, they look really nice. And now what you need, don't know if you are a loser of glasses. Like, I know you're a loser, but are you a loser of glasses?
A very own troll, ladies and gentlemen.
What you need.
What a sledge from Matilda Green, who ChatGPT said she was really nice and wouldn't insult her.
Yeah. ChatGPT doesn't know the real me.
No,
the real me.
Well, I'll be feeding this transcript in. Don't you worry about that.
You need a fancy little chain to have them around your neck because they used to be for grannies. Now they are cool.
I'm not convinced.
Okay, so granted, I've only seen 2 people have them on, but they were 2 very cool people. Mm-hmm. So, just Pinterest it.
I'm going to take my chances with losing them.
I think you'll find that there are cool people.
Jane Matilda Green.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't.
Have you lost them?
Have I? No, but I never wear them. I was gung ho at the start.
I know.
I was absolutely gung ho about my new glasses. I love them, but I feel like I can get through life without wearing them. So I just wear them at night when I read my book, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, actually. I just for the computer and reading is really. It's where it's at. Yeah. Okay, so there we are.
Oh, they're gorge. I really like them. I really like them. Now, anyway.
Moving on.
Recently, I had this, truly magical experience, can I just say. I did a yoga class at Barley Garden in Point Wells near Matakana. And shout out to them, by the way. If you want to do Pilates or yoga and you are local to Point Wells and Matakana, you should go to Barley Garden. It's beautiful. But anyway, they had a yoga class with a guest teacher, Renee Stewart. And it was the most beautiful yoga class I've ever done in my life. We were outside under the palms. It was a mixture of... So we did some yoga. We did some chanting. I do love a chant.
I love a chant.
I know. We also did some singing. And would you believe we danced?
Guess who was in her element? You were talking about wanting to go to like a midday dance party.
And it was exactly what I wanted. It was in the sunshine. No one was looking apart from, like a bit of it's on social media. So actually quite a lot of people are looking, but it was still it was really, really nice. And she was a wonderful teacher. But at the end, she said, okay, now everybody turn to the person next to you and partner up. Would you believe it? Everyone around me partnered up with someone else, and I was
you were the last
alone.
One.
I was the last one. I know, and that
and you're looking around trying to catch an eye, and none of them are looking at you.
And pure panic of like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then anyway, so the teacher didn't see because I was like, surely the teacher's going to go with me and
help you
and save me from this horrific moment in time. But no, this lovely mother and daughter. I think they were mother and daughter. I'm pretty sure they invited me into their pair. And so we were in some sort of threesome. And what we had to do was eye gaze. Have you ever done eye gazing before, Bean?
Limited amounts.
Okay.
So it's a tricky one to pull out, in classes and stuff like that. Like that's very challenging for people.
It's very intense. So it's basically what the name suggests. You just stare into each other's eyes and you don't talk and you just stare for a long time. And Renee, the teacher, was sort of talking us through it, like see the person, see the life they've had, the wisdom they hold, and all these beautiful things.
People look at you going, nope, nothing.
It doesn't work when you're in a 3. It doesn't work. So this mother and daughter, they're having the moment where, they know each other, they're having this beautiful time. And then I'm butting in with my beady little eyes, sort of trying to see them. And then they're like, they've got to glance at me. And then we keep sort of looking around, and then they're looking at each other, and I'm
Oh
looking
my
at one of them. And then
God.
one of them turns around and looks at me. And it's like, it doesn't work, because you're supposed to build up this moment, and you keep breaking it if you're looking away. And I was also sweating profusely because we'd just finished dancing, and then we were standing. I was panicking about not having a partner. We were in the sunshine. And so there was sweat dripping off everywhere of my body and my hands. And we're holding hands. We're holding hands as well.
Oh
God.
my God.
Oh, it was actually, bless them. It was so nice of them to bring me in with them and save me from the moment. But it was just, I don't like eye gazing. I'm going to
You're
say
like,
it.
okay, I'm going to put that with hugs. It's out. Eye gazing is out. I was just remembering, like,
personal.
it's really personal. And that's so awkward. You're almost like the first one in a threesome that finishes first, like.
That's what it was like. I felt like I was interrupting.
Should I go? I don't know
I
if I
felt
can
like
really
just saying,
participate.
you know what? Just don't worry. Like,
Gonna
you
pop
guys
away.
do it. I'll go hide behind a tree while everyone finishes this moment. I'll climb up the palm. I'll hide in amongst the fronds. No one will see me.
The only time I've had to do eye gazing, and I did it at that one of those like cool to be conscious events where you go and you do breath work, and then you do that sort of eye gazing stuff, and then you go and run into the sea, and then you get in an ice bath, and then afterwards your fucking lips are blue. Anyway,
I don't know those events, but they sound wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, queuing in the wind, as you're waiting to get in a 2-degree ice bath.
Oh God,
it's divine. Anyway, that was the first time I'd done like eye gazing. Is that the only time it's happened? Pulling out eye gazing is a big call. Like, that's a big call. You don't want to tell people in advance it's going to happen. I think that's the key. You have to just land them in it.
Yeah.
And it was literally about a week after a breakup. And
oh God,
I
so
know
you've got some
I had
feelings.
some pent up. I was there to be like, process the feelings and process it out with some like breath work and some ice baths and some nature. And then you're forced to eye gaze, which is so intimate and raw with someone anyway. And I just fucking burst into tears and cried.
Oh,
and then this poor stranger, this poor strange woman was just like, oh.
Why does it bring out so much emotion? It's like, we're really seen. We're really seen for who we really are. But lots of other people in the class
You're an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
That's who you really are. Welcome.
Ready to just fall apart into a puddle at any minute. The moment you get some eye contact, it's all over. But lots of people were like hugging and crying after this eye gazing session. But I wanted it to be done. I was like, okay, when can I end this now?
Oh, that's so funny.
I know. Great class though. Amazing. I feel like I just have to caveat that if I was in a pair of eye gazing, I think it would have been wonderful. But I was an add-on in a threesome. You know what I mean?
It reminds me, Matilda, of Intimacy Week on maths. So I have accidentally got hooked on maths. My friend, you remember my friend who I accidentally sent the nude to? Well,
yes.
Yeah. One night he was like, I will buy you dinner if you watch this episode of maths with me. I just need to get someone in. I was like, I can't commit to this. I can't do this. I don't have the time. And he was like, anyway, convinced me to watch this episode, which of course is just like television crack. And then as soon as you're exposed, you're immediately hooked, And so I'm now deep into maths. In fact, so much so it's like infiltrating the conversations I have in meetings, not even with my colleagues, with other people. And
it's just
someone bravely admits that they're into it. And then everyone's like, oh, thank God, what about this?
But it's a great icebreaker. It brings people together, doesn't it?
Well,
when you've got a shared guilty
experience.
pleasure.
Yeah. And I decided, let's share this experience. In fact, now having so much of a shared experience that there's 3 of us that have a maths watch party on WhatsApp, and we are getting together. We're cooking, we're laughing, we're cringing, we're screaming at the TV, we're giving unsolicited advice. And you know what? It's great. It's exactly,
so fun.
It's so good. It is so good.
Intimacy Week, I don't watch maths. I've watched it little bits and bobs over the years, but like, is that where you have sex? sex? Like, do they then have
No,
sex
no.
on camera?
They're not forced to have sex. And I think that's for the best.
That's commendable. Yeah.
That's commendable. Even for
I
Endermont
don't think we want to
9.
get into that sort of territory.
No, I don't think that's good. No, so all of the wives went away and they sat with, I think she's got a clinical sexologist. I could have that wrong. Anyway, I was like, is she? Anyway, they do this kind of like workshop thing. And then they had to basically create their like perfect date evening, perfect sort of intimacy setting evening.
Yeah.
In whatever way they felt was like that they wanted for their fantasy and was appropriate for their relationship. And some of them worked well and some of them were terrible to watch. But the eye gazing sort of reminds me of that. Like this sort of, when people are trying to do like forced intimacy and it's not working. Oh my God, it was so painful to watch. However, I was sitting there watching this and Frankie, who should have been in bed, was still up. And I said, look, Frankie, this is kind of grown-up stuff. It's probably not appropriate for you to watch, but if you use that head massager on me, I'll let you stay up for the next 10 minutes and I don't care. And anyway, she's sitting there giving me the wire head massager thing. She goes, Mum, if you were on maths, I don't think you'd be very successful. I was like,
thank you.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Why do you say that? And she goes, and then she just started like backtracking. She's like, and I was like, okay, I was like, there's no problem. I'm just curious, I'm just curious. And she goes, oh, well, I just think that whoever you're with is going to have to be very accepting. Now, I don't want to cast aspersions, but I will. Are those the words that would naturally come from a 10-year-old girl? She's very intelligent, but I just was like, they have to be very accepting. And then I thought, no, I said, Frankie, actually, you're right. They do have to be very accepting. They will have to be very accepting. And I don't want just anybody, like I want someone who is adventurous and fun and playful and, exciting and interesting and funny. And I'm like, yeah, and they're going to have to be very accepting. And I was like, damn it, it's true. It is true.
But you know what? That's true. And that's true in any relationship. Like,
yes.
You do have to be accepting of the other person because they're different than you.
Yeah.
They have different quirks, they've got different strengths, different flaws, and you have to be accepting of who they are and what they want.
Exactly. And then I'm like, that's a great thing because that's saying, like, I'm going to be non-judgmental and this is a safe space for you to be authentically who you are. And so she is quite right. Wherever that came from, we won't be following up on that.
We'll take what we want from it and we'll leave the rest. Yeah.
Oh God, but
that's
it was
so
very
funny.
That's
a very clever from her. I feel like she's onto it.
Sometimes they come out with just these pearls of wisdom, these kids, and I'm just like, oh God, that is so good. I tell you, I've got a new segment for the show. And this is a moment, Maddie, where I was not very accepting.
We can't be perfect every day, can we?
We can't. And we're going to call this segment Bean's Best Burns.
Oh, you do have good burns.
Yeah, I do have good burns. And, sometimes I talk about with my friend Sarah, like, she's like, oh, Petty Sarah's coming out. I'm like, oh, I love Petty Sarah. And so Petty Bean came out. Let me set this up. This was a guy that I was talking to. We chatted very briefly on an app, moved to WhatsApp. He sent one voice note. I replied in a timely manner with another voice note. He dropped a heart on it. I was like, okay, cool. Didn't hear from him again.
Okay. Yeah. Weird from him, but yeah.
2 weeks later, right? Not a word. I get, by the way, very poor spelling and poor punctuation, so it is difficult to read, and I have been also not very accepting about that. Hey, Hannah, have to organise that catch-up soon, eh? No acknowledgement of the absence of communication. Okay.
Yeah.
So my back's already up. I said, hi, Bevan. Thanks for reaching out, but as you didn't continue our conversation, I determined you weren't interested in taking it forward. All the best out there. Seems reasonable. I was feeling quite direct that day. So
we thought, you know what? No, I'm not pussyfooting around this.
No. So poor timing for him. He goes, well, it depends on where you're keen to take it. At the moment, I'm too busy for anything serious, but that is my long-term goal. So I don't want to mess you around as you seem like a quality woman that deserves the best. But I'm open if you are to a wine at yours and a bit of fun if that's your thing. But if not, I respect that and wish you all the best out there too.
Okay.
Matty,
There's a lot to unpack there.
this irritated me.
Mm.
And I
As
thought,
it should.
and I thought for about an hour about my reply. And here's what I went with.
Oh God, I can't wait. Strap in.
Hi, Bevan. Thanks for respecting my choice not to endure what would inevitably be an inconsequential sexual encounter in my home and at my expense solely for your physical convenience. There's no need to reply.
Oh my God. And the best part about it is the word endure. You know, it's the perfect power play. You know, that's what I would have to do. I would have to endure what you've just requested. Oh, yuck. Like a
Yuck.
glass of wine and a bit of fun at yours if you're up for
Yeah, like,
it.
why don't I come to you, drink your wine, and besmirch your sheets and ruin your day?
And then be off, you know. And then after, especially after what you just said to him, like, you're like, hey, didn't have any communication, so bye.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like this last ditch attempt from him that he's like, you know, she's letting me down easy. Well, kind of.
I've got nothing to lose.
I've got nothing to lose. I'm just going to throw it out there, see what happens. Wow. Well, Bevan.
Well,
Didn't
Bevan.
go your way, did it, Bev?
No.
Certainly did not.
He did not reply. Anyway, so new segment, Beans Best Burns. And
you're so good at them as well. It's because you're a writer. You've got the
very satisfying.
Got that way with words.
I should mention, and we'll also put the link in. Oh God, we've got a few links to pop in this time, don't we, Matty?
No, we're going to be linking up a store.
We're going to be linked up. By the way, while you are checking out the links, please make sure you hit the follow button in your podcast.
Yes.
We really, have to impress upon you. It makes a massive difference to the success of the podcast.
Yep.
If people subscribe to it, it means that you won't miss an episode. They'll just arrive fresh for your ears. They'll be there, and it means that it's easier for other people to find the podcast. So if you're enjoying it and you want to support us, please just hit the follow button on everything
and review. Like
5
if you
stars.
give us a 5-star review, that is genuinely really
best
helpful.
friend.
So just, you know, if you're wondering how to support the pod, that's how you can do it.
Yeah. And if you want to shout out, just screen grab it and send it to us. 100% we'll put that in the stories.
Oh,
what do you want?
Absolutely.
Let me know.
We'll be reposting it. Look,
if you need me to burn someone for you, screen grab the message.
Oh,
and
yes.
I will. Yes.
For a second there, I was like, oh, what's happening? But yeah.
If you need a pointy reply, I'd love to help.
Beans your gal.
Yeah, look, let's add to Beans Best Burns. I don't wish to keep contributing content to it, but it does happen from time to time. I should also mention I did an episode with O Studio about modern dating. So if you want the tea spilt on modern dating, I will put the link in the show notes. It was a really, really fun, quite revealing chat, but I'm like, no, fuck it. It is what it is. Let's
What do you call it? The swamp of
the bog of eternal stench. Yeah, the bog of eternal stench. Yeah. Just still looking for a sunny pontoon, Matty.
Still wading on through the shit.
Yeah, every now and again a swamp monster sort of claws its way out of the bog of eternal stench.
The beasts that live underneath there.
I know.
Anyway.
Here we are. Anyway, Matty, I wanted to ask you, next month, March, you start easing your way into being on the hits.
I know.
I keep seeing ads for it on television because I'm watching actual TV because maths, and I'm like, there's lots of the hits ads on here.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. So I told the kids last night because I haven't really told them because I didn't want to. You know what little kids are like. You can't.
No, they don't need a few days to.
No, you can't be building up too much anticipation. Otherwise, things get a bit crazy. They don't know what to do with it. So I told them over dinner last night. I said, you know, guys, I've got this new job and it's going to mean that I'm not going to be around in the evenings because I'll be working on the radio, but I'll be home just after you go to bed and I'll be there in the mornings and I'll be there all weekend and stuff. And then they were just sort of silent. And then I said, you know, does anyone have any questions or anything they want to say about it? And
any objections?
Milo said, I have a question. I said, what is it? And he said, But what happens if I need you? I know.
Did you cry? Like in the...
I felt a little lump in my throat, but I was like, hold it together, be positive,
done.
like I'm not
Yes, well done.
he can't see me wobble because then
Yeah.
he'll be like, oh my God, it is a big deal. But it got me thinking, like, I'm so excited for this opportunity and I'm so excited to just sink my teeth into it and do it. But I'm also, there's part of me that is sad. Like, I'm going to miss the evenings with my children that I have, that I've been so lucky to have for so long. I mean, it's only 6 months, right? It's only 6 months. But still, that's 6 months that I won't be able to sit around the table with them every single night and talk about our day and play High-Low Buffalo, which shout out to Genevieve Muir.
Yeah.
Got it from her. And it made me feel like it's okay to feel lots of different things all at one time. And that's okay and it's natural and we're allowed to do that. Because I think sometimes when I'm like, oh, I feel sad that I'm going to miss out on this, I'm like, but I'm so lucky to be able to do this and I can't wait and that's great and I should be feeling really grateful and excited. But it's like, I am all of those things at the same time. And it's going to be great. And I'm also just a bit nervous to get back into the workforce.
Like we're terrified. Turning up on time?
Turning up on time, having to
dressed.
Well dressed, and because radio is full of cool, fashionable people. So now I'm going to have to really think about
especially we're not sure about your style.
Yeah, they'll be like
nana-ish.
Nana vibes.
Nana vibes. You take your nana vibes to the hits, Matty. That's what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the station's getting a little too young. Yeah. We need a bit of like,
you're a perfect hybrid. We need a nana in her 30s. Matilda Green.
Perfect. She's got chintz in her house. She's got antique lamps. Bring her in. She's gonna be the perfect.
She still
addition.
knows what Pornhub is.
I know, exactly. I'll be coming in with my pearl necklace clinking away. I'll just
clutching it. I should imagine from time to time.
Clutching my pearls. Oh God!
And so, what did you say in response to Milo?
I just said, Dad will be here for you every evening, and you will not be alone. You'll be absolutely fine. Dad will be here with you, and I'll be here just after you go to bed, and I'll come and give you a kiss goodnight, whether you're awake or not. And you'll see me in the morning.
Perfect.
And it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. And so he was like, okay. And then he just kind of moved on.
Got on with his life.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, well. On to other things. Yeah, because I mean, art's 100% the favourite anyway. So, I don't think.
You won't be missed.
No, I won't be missed. When it comes down to it, they'll get used to it and they'll be like, whatevs. Doesn't matter whether you're here or not, to be honest. No, they won't, bless them. But yeah, art's 100% the favourite. And it's like,
it's kind of good. It takes the pressure off you. I mean, I don't know, but like then you're probably on a lot of like family admin type of like keeping the wheels in motion without the kudos.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, I sometimes feel when I talk to other mums that it's so unusual for the dad to be the favourite and the preferred one.
But
really?
No, because I experienced this with my kids because I was on like daily admin, but then when their dad came home, it was like fun dad's home. And then like you don't get to be fun mum because you're doing shit all the time.
Because you're busy with stuff. Yeah.
So I know,
but yeah, like other mums are always like, oh, they only want me at bedtime and they only want this and it's really hard. And I'm like, yeah.
I think work this to your advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It just, I mean, God, there's no perfect scenario. There's no perfect setup where each parent is, validated equally and like loved in all aspects and get it. Yeah, it's just, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that is not the most perfect dynamic for you or the children, right?
Totally. And do you know what this is going to do to your reputation with your children? You're going to become more desirable because there's less of you around.
True.
I think this is actually, one, it's going to work to your advantage because they're like, okay, cool, well, our favourite's here anyway. But two, they're going to be like, oh, she was all right. I would like her back.
I guess she was pretty fun sometimes. And
so, when then you'll be fun mum on the weekend.
Oh, exactly, because I'll be like ready for ready for fun parent time.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be like, kids, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be great for you.
this actually could be quite good for my brand as a mother.
Oh, it's good. Well, my brand as a mother, I'm also questioning where this information came from. My son has started diagnosing me with ADHD. I actually, I wanted to say have started the process. So I had my first consult call and like the beginning of the assessment process yesterday, which was just
Right.
basically set up housekeeping. This is the process, is what we're going to do. We're going to send you a form. I immediately started panicking. She's like, it's going to need to be due by the end of the week. I'm like, well, I love a tight deadline. It makes me panic and actually gets it done. So that's good. But somehow like my son has cottoned on to the fact that, I'm looking at this ADHD diagnosis and he keeps going, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Like, do you know? And we're in the car one day and he is like, oh, Mum, can you remind me of XYZ later? I said, look, to be completely honest, I probably can't. I said, my working memory isn't great, and it means that it is quite difficult to just remember things like that. So like maybe if we could write it down or something. And he goes, that's a symptom of ADHD. I said, yes, thank you. Yes, I do.
Your
So he
kids,
keeps
man.
pointing out, like, that's a symptom of ADHD. And I'm like, how do you know this? And he goes, I watched a video on YouTube.
So he's basically a little psychologist, or a psychiatrist, whichever one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Honestly, I think he'd be very good at it.
I think just from what I hear about Alex, I feel like he would be very good at being a psychologist or a psychiatrist because he's self-aware, but also quite observant, isn't he?
Very,
from what I gather,
very, very observant. Too observant, I would say, and he also has like bat-like hearing. So he can hear sounds that other people can't hear. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is. And so like, he's quite hypersensitive to that sort of stuff. And
so he's watching and listening.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
It's really caught me out a few times.
Tricky.
Very, very annoying. Yes.
Hey, speaking about being a good parent, I really have to go and pick up the kids.
You should. You should. They'll love that. They'll love you turning up on time.
Have to leave them waiting, and I simply cannot. I cannot.
Okay. Well, you must do
very
that.
frowned upon in the preschool world.
Okay. Well, I will take my new eyes and I will apply them to some work.
But actually, I feel like glasses are quite good for that because when you put them on, it's almost like a little thing that tells your brain
it's
on.
Mode. It's on. Well, I also have this thing, and I don't know why, but when I put headphones in, it helps me focus. There doesn't even need to be anything playing in the headphones. It's just like I'm plugged into the computer.
Makes sense.
Sure.
You're plugged into the mainframe.
I'm plugged into the mainframe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Matty, you go be a good parent. You've only got a limited time left before you're away on the radio and you become absent.
And then I'm and I'm an absent mother. So better make the most of it. Better pick them up today before it all turns to shit next week.
Better get your high-low buffaloes in.
All right. Hey, great chat.
Loved it.
Always fun. Thanks for listening, everyone. And hey, don't forget about that subscribing and following and reviewing.
Yeah. And don't forget, submit your burn briefs. And let's see if we can help you out. I'm honestly only too happy to help.
Okay.
Do it.
Radio, lots of love, Bean.
Lots of love to you. Lots of love to everyone who's listening. Have a great days following whenever you hear this. And we will be back in your ears next week. Mate wa.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Untidy. If you enjoyed it, we would really love your help to support us to continue to make the show. Things you can do that make a huge difference is subscribing to the show so you never miss an episode. You can also leave us a little 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And of course, please share this podcast with your mates. It means that we can continue to build this community, keep putting out untidy episodes, and just keep doing what we love to do.
And don't forget to check out mybigmoments.com for kids' books that make your tricky job of parenting just a whole lot easier. Untidy listeners get a discount at checkout, so just pop in Untidy for 10% off your order when you check out. And lastly, we would like to thank all of the good people that make this podcast possible, Flicker Williams and Joe Rocker at My Big Moments for the beautiful artwork and design, and Maxine London Creative for editing this episode. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon. Mate wa.